Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's Professor Oleander. I know what you're thinking. Who the hell's Professor Oleander? Well, yeah, I'm kind of beginning to wonder that too because, it's been, I don't know, 8 years since I've been on YouTube. At least on this channel, anyway. I think I've done a couple on the other channel, but it's just whatever I could throw together. But yeah, it's been absolutely crazy. As I think I said in the last video, I was actually supposed to be getting some time. I was only supposed to be working 3 days a week. Well, that got shot down. I actually ended up working 7 days a week. I worked 64 hours this past week, 55 the week before that, 44 the week before that. I'll end up working 60 this week, 40 next week, and then looks like probably 48 to 50 the next week. So yeah, I'm busy. Of course, I'm not complaining because I'm getting overtime. So anytime I can get overtime, it's just peachy with me. It does kind of suck because it takes away from my time to do videos, but I'm working on it. Like tonight, I actually ended up getting off early, so I saw the update for TF2, the metal update, or whatever the hell they're trying to pass off as an update. And there was that, and then 4th of July weekend, which, by the way, for all of the people that are watching from North America, happy 4th of July. Be safe. Don't get killed. Don't get too drunk. Don't play with fireworks while you're drunk, and, don't stick fireworks up your friend's pants leg or something like that. But anyway, but yeah, happy 4th of July to everybody. This is probably going to be the only video I'm going to make before the 4th of July. And, and this channel has surpassed 500 subscribers, which was a total shock to me. So thank you for everybody that has subscribed to the channel. And even if you haven't subscribed to the channel and you're watching it, thank you anyway for watching the videos. It means a lot to me. I do what I can, I'm just Mongo's just a pawn in the great chess game of life. Corny, I know, but that line just popped into my head. That's from Blazing Saddles, just in case you don't know. If you ever get a chance, watch that movie. Watch the real version. Don't watch the version that comes on television because they've pulled so much crap out of it that it's not even funny anymore. Watch the real version of that. But anyway, yeah, the 500 subscribers. Really glad that we've made it past that point, and I'm going to do what I can to keep putting videos on here. And since we're on the 4th of July and we've surpassed 500 subscribers, and I wanted to do something that I've been talking about doing for a while, or at least I don't think I've ever talked about it publicly, but at least on the channel. But one of the things that I wanted to do was I wanted to start a series, and it was going to be focused around poster making. And what that was going to do was that was going to be my inclination to get motivated into going back into animation again, because I've got a big project that I've been wanting to work on, just haven't had time. And but yeah, it's going to be just kind of going through the process of making the posters in like 30 minutes or something like that. Just kind of who was it that I was reading? Robin Williams, the big animator, he wrote the animator's survival book. I think that's what it's called. The big white book. It's kind of like the go-to book for anybody that wants to do any kind of animating, whether it's 3D or whether it's hand-drawn. But yeah, he talks about it. A lot of people will sit there and they'll try and plan stuff out, and usually you end up working it to death. And if you would just sit down and just draw, or just animate, typically that ends up being your best work, because your brain is like on fire, and it's just everything is just trying to get out. And usually that's when your best work comes out, is because your brain is just so active at that point. So that's kind of the mentality behind it. And plus, it's kind of inspired by those of you that are painters. You've probably heard of or have watched Bob Ross, and Bob Ross was able to create paintings in 30 minutes, and that's kind of where the concept came from it. But yeah, we're going to try it and see how it goes. So this is going to be the first episode. It's going to be longer than 30 minutes, I can already tell you that. But enough gabbing about that. But what we're doing is, seeing as we're so close to the 4th of July, I figured we'd do a kind of a 4th of July themed poster. And we are on the Gold Rush Dark map, which you can get from the Steam Workshop for Source Filmmaker, and I will try and put a link in the description. I'm pretty sure it's still available. I'm also downloading the TF2 update. I'm hoping that the next one is going to be using the new weapon skins that are available for the game, and anything else that I can find in there. But let's get started on this. So we're on this Gold Rush Dark map. I'm going to go ahead and hit C to create a camera, and then we'll just move the word camera. So right click in here, we want to disable the lighting so we can see where we're going. And I have to, it's been so long since I've run this, I have to remember what the buttons do. So we're going to go out here, and what I had thought, and it's really going to depend on how well this map cooperates. It's not that way. We want to be back here, facing this direction here, with kind of the moon in the background, and there. And one thing I want to check is okay, they are going to cooperate. Sometimes this map can be a little crazy, and it might be the other map. There are 2 versions of this map that I've seen, but sometimes the rocks and everything, they won't get the shadows on them. They'll be illuminated. I think the HDR lighting might be messed up, but right now they're working fine, so we're just going to disable the lighting. I'm going to go ahead and hit C, and that will create a camera for us, which is not where I want it. So stand by. Let's see if we want to go up. Where the hell am I? There we are. So yeah, we want to get over here. And of course I'm doing this the same way that I usually do, as my favorite song from TF2. Well, one of my favorite songs. This is, if it's not my favorite, it's fairly close to it. But what I thought is, we get the moon in the background there, and then we get the barn back here, kind of somewhere. We could do Dutch angles. Let's see, if I can remember how to do them. There we go. We can do Dutch angles. I'm not gonna do that though. Yeah, the extreme angles. I'm just holding R as I rotate there. I don't know, we might do a little something, but I want to get it fairly straight. You can go back in and put the inputs in, but I just don't. I'm too lazy to do it. Alright. I'm just going to put it here for right now. That's kind of sort of in the vicinity that I want to do it, and then we'll just hit tab, and that'll put us back in the motion editor. Right click in the animation set editor, and we want to create for existing elements. Standard procedure, I know, but I'm saying it for all the people that have not done this before. Click on camera 1, okay. Brings her over. We want a lens. And for this one, we can probably get by with a 50. That's probably too much. 35. Nah, let's go with 50. We'll just back up the camera. Back up the camera and a lower angle. How about that? I think that'll work. And just kind of roughly gauging a rule of thirds. Really, I want more of the moon in it than anything else. I'm just kind of picking a line. And this is not an exact science. If it was, I wouldn't be doing it. There's a light post right there. That'll work. That'll work a little better. I want the moon offset. Maybe a little bit more like that, and that's gonna look good. So yeah, get that out of the way. We don't need that anymore. Well, we do kind of need it, but we don't. So there's going to be one model in this one. That's going to be our Soleil. So HWM, and of course, me being a dummy, I forgot to pre-populate my list, so now we have to wait for all 1 billion files to load. And the one I am looking for is El Soldiero, the HWM soldier. This one right here. We're going to just use a red one because we can, and at some point it will load. There we go. We just take him and grab him, plunk him down somewhere over here, and I can already tell that lens is not going to work, but That's why we do the things that we do. It's just a matter of changing it. I just want to get him somewhere. I don't want him exactly centered, and I don't want him over here. I'm thinking somewhere about right there. So we just come over here, and we, like I said, I usually do 2 viewports. You can do it however you want to. If I wasn't recording a video, and if I had my second monitor set up, I don't have it set up right now. I would actually have my primary viewport on the other monitor, and I would just be working on the work camera on this one. Let's just slide that over, and yes, I know he is hovering. What we want to do, actually, I want to get up closer. I think it's somewhere right annoying here, and maybe have him, yeah, let's get him, let's base it off of him. So we'll come down a little bit and kind of like that, and over here, there we go, and then we'll just turn him this way so he's facing to the left. Alright, let's see, just rotate that, and we don't have to plunk him down. I will do this till the day I bloody die. I mean, every freaking time. There. I will hit shift before I click, and it will script the playhead. And I always get pissed off about it. But yeah, it doesn't matter if he's plunked down on the ground. We just kind of eyeball him wherever. He's going to look good. And I think, probably, well, let me go ahead and pose him. That way I can kind of get a feel for it, because he's going to be hunched down. So we want an animation sequence, and I have to remember which one it is. There it is right there. I want that sequence, which is one of the new taunt sequences. I'm just going to kind of scrub through the playhead here. Go. And we'll rotate him back, kind of like this, and just kind of scrub a little bit further ahead. There's a, I don't know what you want to call it, kind of the hero shot. It's probably going to be not that one. That's going to be close. So I'm just going to kind of base it off of that one. So I'll just select the soldier here and go into procedural, playhead. That will flatten out all of his animation. Just go back to frame 1, hit enter. That will clear everything out. Or that will actually not bake, but that will set the timeline that is the change we wanted to make, and you can always go back to it, but we don't want to do that. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and rig him now, and just go rig, biped simple. These are I think all of these are available in the workshop now. Some of these are color ones, some of them are rigging ones. That's one for a cosmetic, but we just want biped simple. So don't be alarmed if you don't see those in yours. I've added some other ones. The biggest one that I use is the coloring one, so that you can color cosmetics. So what I'm just going to do is I'm going to eyeball the soldier here. I kind of want to get an angle that I like. I'm thinking somewhere along in there. And I'm going to just control click on his hand and hit the W key so that I get this transform, and just kind of move his arm, because he's going to be holding a coffee mug, which is what the taunt is. I just kind of want to get him in the general pose clothes that I'm looking for. I'm actually, that needs to be closer to his body, I think. A lot of fireworks going off tonight. I'm actually thinking that should be further ahead of him. Ah, crap. I didn't mean to do that. It's one of the nice things about doing this stuff in computers, because if you screw up, you can fix it. And I'll just grab his elbow there and just kind of tuck that in. There we go. Not quite that much. And maybe just pick his arm up just a bit. And then roll it back. That'll work. And then we'll just grab his head, which we can do this while we're rigged. We'll just grab his neck and kind of turn it up. Well, not that way. Just kind of turn it this way here. I'm trying to think of what I don't want to call this the hero pose, but it's sort of the patriotic, or whatever you want to call it. But we're just going to tilt his neck up and then just kind of, the head up in the sky, something about like that right there. And let's see, that looks, it doesn't look quite right. His head is, yeah, I think that'll look good. And if it doesn't look good, then you change it, And as was once said, this is your world and you can do whatever you want in it. So I'm going to live with that. I don't know if I'm going to use his helmet or if I'm going to put something else on him. I'm just trying to run through stuff in my head of what I could put on there. Actually, I am going to. I just thought of something. So we'll just detach. And hopefully it'll work. Sometimes I have problems if I just try and detach the rig. It won't detach them. Or did it? Okay, they're working. Alright, so we're going to add a TF2 item. Actually, first I have to do something. I have to take his helmet off. I'm just going to go to none. What I want is add a Team Fortress 2 item, and I want the tricorn, which is not that one. What the hell is that thing called? Is it the Patriot? No. Crap. I don't feel like looking for it either. Let me see if I can find it. I'm not going to spend too much time looking for it. It's that damn tricorn. I can never remember what the number, what the name of it is. Conspiracy Cap. I'll probably roll right past it and not even remember. Team Captain, no. Well, Team Captain could work. It's not colonial or anything like that. No, that's not it. Screaming, no, I don't think that's it either. Anyway, we'll just put a Team Captain on there. I think that'll work. And just for good measure, we will put a compatriot on there. I think that's very patriotic, and then we're going to look for the coffee mug, which is not in that one, not in that one. I know it's in here somewhere. It's either going to be under coffee mug or just mug. That's the sniper one. There we go, the whoop-ass mug. So that's the one we want. And we just look for the bones here. There's root transform and static prop, which I think... Actually, you know what? There is a thing for this, and I'm sorry if I'm just rambling on. This was sort of a spur of the moment thing, so I'm not very well organized right now. Why am I doing that? This one. We want the whoop-ass mug. This one. And then what we'll do is we'll just lock all this stuff together. So we'll do the thingy, the thing, and then the other thing, and then the other thing. I have to do this the old-fashioned way because I don't know any other way to do it. So I'm looking for rocket. I've done this before. The thing I want is weapon bone L and weapon bone 1. There we go. There's weapon bone 1. Weapon bone 1. And then weapon bone L I just saw, which is right here. Right side of Source Snowmaker. This is why it takes so much bloody time. Alright, so we just grab that. So we just grab these guys. And then we 0, and thank God that worked. And then there we go. So we've got the mug, we've got the doohickeys, that sort of thing going on there. And I think that's going to look halfway decent. So, as far as adding stuff, I think this one's pretty much done. Now we can go ahead and right-click and enable the lighting. And if he's lit up, then we just kind of change that, and then that puts him into silhouette, which is kind of a cool shot. But we want to make this kind of cooler. So let's add a light. We'll put this in here. This is going to be more of a bounce lighting, so this is going to be a little softer. You see that the moon is coming in from the left-hand side. So what I want to do is I just want to kind of pick an angle somewhere. There you see that's the coffee bag. I'm not really worried about that one. But yeah, I want to get just a little bit of bounce lighting here. And get some on that rock. Actually, let me come from this way. Just make that a bit wider and come up with some better angles. Get off to this side, just kind of find. Actually, it'll look better from this side because this side should be in shadow, to be honest. So we'll just kind of go there, and then we're going to knock down the intensity. We're going to make this light a little bit more blue, so we're going to knock out some of the greens and some of the reds. That's going to be sort of a very pale blue, which is fine. That's fine. Just knock up the intensity just a little bit. We want shadow attenuation to go away. We want shadow filter size. We want to come up on the radius. And one thing that we can do is we can go ahead and set our camera settings to 1024 and 256 on depth of field and motion blur. And what that does is when we go into when we tab over into the clip editor, that will render everything out so you can see how your shadows are going to lie. That's going to look pretty good there. So we'll go back into the motion editor. We'll make us another light. Just drag that over into here. And this is going to be, let me get where I can see what I'm pointing at. Back just a bit. So this is going to be the primary light that's going to be coming from the moon. So we don't have to necessarily be far away, but I'm thinking somewhere in there. Now one of the things I'm looking at is seeing how this light here is casting onto these rocks. That's creating a layer of contrast because you've got some light that's illuminating from this side, and then you've also got these shadows that are popping up because you've got light coming in from another direction, which is something in terms of compositing that you should keep an eye on. The problem is I'm probably going to have to, yeah, Z. And then, so I want to keep as much of that light on these rocks as I can. And at the same time, I'm going to turn this guy off so I can see where my rim lighting is. Because that's what this is going to be. This is going to be more or less rim lighting. I think that's going to look pretty good. We'll knock the intensity up on this one. And then we'll also make this one more of a bluish color. But it's going to be a little bit more, we're going to have a little bit deeper tones in it just so that it pops a little more. Makes sense? It's not going to be terribly noticeable. You see a little bit there, and then you see some here on the eagle. But I think that looks pretty good. Let's do the same thing with this. Not all the way on the shadow depth. Oh, what am I doing? Not that one. Looking for wrong slider. Right here. So shadow filter size, and then shadow attenuation all the way down. This one's going to have a fair amount of radius because the moon's really, really long ways off. So we'll just tab over and let that render out. And that's looking pretty good. If anything, we can bring down this light just a little bit more. It's still a little on the... we need just enough light to illuminate Soldier. And that's all we're looking for. We don't want it to look like there's a light ahead of him. We just want it to look like that's sort of some ambient light. And probably need to take some of the red out of this other one. So drop that down. So it's a little bit paler. And the reason why I'm doing this is I don't want him to get washed out into the background. So we'll just make another light, and we'll actually take this one and put it on the other side. This is going to be my attempt at 3-point lighting. We don't need much. We're actually going to put this one up a little bit higher, and what I'm trying to focus on is light more on the top of, like that, top of his hat. And that's just going to enhance the moon there, so we can widen this out a little bit so we can get some of that on the... No, we don't want to do that. But yeah, we want to do that there. And again, we'll take out some of the green, some of the red. That. Shadow attenuation, filter size, radius, and we'll see how that renders. That looks pretty good. Alright, so one of the things that I want to do is we're going to make a light that does not have shadows. We're just going to disable shadows, and the reason for that is just so we don't waste a light, because you're only allowed to have, I'm pretty sure it's still 8 lights you're allowed to have that cast shadows, and we're going to have a fair few more lights in this poster, so I don't want to tie up any more than I have to. So this light is going to be the light that is going to kind of light up the background, and again, this is going to be mainly bounce lights. This is just so that the background doesn't get washed out. And we're going to leave a little bit in shadow because the very top of it's going to be in shadow, but this is sort of bounce light that's coming up. And it's just so it's not just a black background either. We're just going to bring out some of this. Just kind of make it look pale. And it's not going to matter because once we put the other lights in here, you're not going to notice a whole lot of this. I'm just trying to get where we can see more of that. And what what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this light. I'm going to paste another one in here, drag that over. If I can remember what key I'm pushing. This is going to be sort of the same thing. This one's not going to be as important. We can knock the intensity down on this one. We can actually knock down the intensity on this one too. Just want enough to kind of break it up from the background. Something about like that. Alright, so the next one's going to be, we need 3 lights. These lights are going to face, they're going to be back here. One's going to face kind of, one's going to face this way. Maybe do this so I can get it right. One's going to face kind of like that. The next one is going to face up. Next one is going to face this way. Some of you might know what I'm getting ready to do, but I won't spoil it for you yet. It's going to face something like that. And what we're going to do is we're going to take this light. This light is going to be red. This light's going to be white. So we leave it alone. This one's going to be blue, so we take all the green and all the red. We need to take off we're going to enable volumetrics, enable volumetrics, enable volumetrics. Scrub, there you go. There's our red, white, and blue. So what we do from here is we just kind of adjust where they're going to be. So we take light number 6 here, and let me go back to my work camera so I can get over here and see what's going on. So what I need to do is I need to bring this back and down and just kind of get them to a common point. Find where I want the first light to go, which is going to be about right. Actually, it's going to be about right. I'm having to do this looking at one image that's backwards, so I might have to fool around with it a little bit. So we'll put him, looks like he's coming out of his knee. I'm going to look at that one right there. And the quick way to get everything back to the same point is to look at your transform right here. We want to take the transform of this one. Actually, doing that backwards. We want to take that transform and lock it. And then we want to 0 that. Actually, messed up on that. The only thing I want is I want position. So I can just come over here and copy. Just did Control C and then Control V, and then do the same thing on the next one. Just open it up, come down here to transform, position, click over here, and then just hit Control V, and there you go. And I've lost my music. Why is my music not playing? There we go. Alright, so all we got to do now is just rotate these into a fashion that suits our needs. Do is I'm going to grab this one. We just have to play with the angles. Actually, well, I'm just going to eyeball it. I could say we could find numbers, but what's the fun in that? What's the fun in symmetry? I mean, honestly. So yeah, I just want to kind of eyeball that to like straight up. It's going to be somewhere around in there, and then we'll take the red one. There, and the blue needs to come up. Something about like that. Alright,
So, next thing, grab light number 6. Put it over here. Widen it. And I can already tell one thing that I need to do is I need to bring these lights back, but that's fine. That's fine. Actually, I'm kind of splitting the screen, so that needs to come up somewhere about right there. And we take the white one, put it back over here, and then we just widen the cone out on it. And if they overlap, that's fine. It's white light. There we go. We grab the red one, or the blue one, and we just fan that out. And then what I'm going to do, a little trick, is I'm going to get over here to the side first. I'm going to just control click all of these. So I'm going to do 8, 7, and 6, hit the W key, grab this transform, and I'm going to slide all 3 of them back. And what I'm doing is I want to get them past those rods, because they are not going to interfere with my light, because the white light's going to shine through all of them. And one thing I'm going to do is right click and just stay with the shadows, because we don't need shadows on these. And that's another thing, is that white light will shine through. That's why the white light will actually diffuse the edges here where the red and the blue are. The white light will actually overpower them, because white light is stronger because it's using the full spectrum. I think that's right. It sounds right. I'm sure people are going to be saying you're an idiot, which you wouldn't be the first. But anyway, so yeah, that's pretty much it for this. One of the things that I did want to try and do was I was going to put some fireworks in the background, which I may still do that. We can. I don't know. I've kind of lost track of time, to be perfectly honest. Look and see, 37 minutes. Screw it, we'll put some fireworks in it, by God. So let's see, I want particle editor, editorial, get that out of here. I want to open, let's see, TF, particles, and I didn't want to open that, I double clicked on it, didn't I? These are going to be too small. Yeah, those are going to be too small. We may not have any fireworks. Building damage, tracers, class effects. I'm trying to think. Doomsday, explosion, slag. I thought there was one in here that was marked fireworks. I could have been wrong. I'm usually wrong, so it doesn't really matter. Well, crap. I was hoping that there was one that had fireworks in it, and nothing that's really popping out to me is one that would have it. Tracers. One thing I do want to use, though, is there we go, 6 smoke. And I don't know why I'm doing it in here. I don't need to do it in here. We can go back to SFM. I want to add a particle system. 6 smoke. Let's see, 6 smoke. That one, and we want pipe smoke. We want to set this for -5, 10, 10. Go. Let's see. We want to move this to this one, to the little fast jug. Just put that down here, there, 0. I'm hoping that's right. I can't see it. Alright, so I'm just going to have to kind of plunk it. All I'm doing is I just drag it up and then I hit shift. So So I'm dragging this, and then I hold down the shift key, and that just pops it to the mug. And then that just gets it close. And then what I'll do is I'll just bring that in there. Get up a little bit. Then we have to refresh the scene, so we'll just scrub to the right and scrub back. There you see there's some smoke. That's actually just supposed to be a little bit of steam, and then we can move that as we need to. We just need control forward a little bit. Just refresh it. That looks good. So yeah, that's pretty much done. The only thing that we need to do is go back in here and set up our camera. So the field of view, we're not going to I almost said something bad, but I'm not going to do that. I almost said a bad word, and I was going to have to eat soap, but I'm not going to do that. What I meant to say is we're not going to mess with the field of view. That's what I meant. But yeah, focal distance here. And we're going to remap that to, we'll make it 400. And we just need to go a little bit past him, maybe cut his face. Actually, that's good. We'll set up some aperture. We'll go up about half. Just tab over and just see how that's going to work. I want him to kind of pop out, and it may take a second because we've got the volumetric lights. Yeah, we're going to need some more aperture. Because this stuff is so far in the background, it's going to take a little bit longer, or it's going to take a little bit more to make him pop. There we go. That's better. That looks pretty good. And this isn't exactly what I wanted, but on a spur of the moment thing, this is just something. It's kind of cool because it's stuff that you can do with volumetric lights, stuff that's you know, and not anything fancy. Just throwing this together, spur of the moment type deal, you know. But yeah, that's that on that. Then we need to go to render settings. We'll turn on ambient occlusion, show the ambient occlusion, and SAO bass, which is going to be somewhere about right there, I'm thinking. Strength. We don't need too terrible much strength. Well, maybe we do. See, that's going to be way too much. I'm kind of skirting that edge. It's going to be about right there. Then the radius is going to be something. Let's see, that's going to be too much. It's going to be somewhere about right there. And we'll just tab over and we'll let that render. And then we'll just kind of look at the lines here. Might need to go a little bit more. I'm thinking that's going to look good. So if I come up here and I turn off the ambient occlusion there, and then we render that out. That's what we're going to end up with. And like I said, I wish I could have put some fireworks in the background and just kind of spruce it up a little bit, but I think this is going to look fairly decent. But yeah, this is a finished poster, and it took about 30 minutes if you don't count the time that I went on rambling on the very first part, considering that I really didn't plan it. I mean, literally 2 minutes before I did this video, I said, I'm going to do that. I mean, this is just thrown together. The next one will be a little bit more organized, I promise. Well, I shouldn't promise, because I'm terrible about keeping promises, especially when it comes to stuff like that, because things change. But yeah, I'm going to wrap it up there. And again, happy 4th of July to everybody that's in the United States. And be safe this weekend. And thanks everybody for subscribing. And if you enjoyed this video, subscribe, like it, you know, do those crazy YouTube things that you guys do. And I'll see you in the next one. And like I said, start doing these about once a week. That's what I'm shooting for. So see you next time, guys.